Hey, can y'all hear us?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
What up?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to episode 50 of the RBD Equilibrium podcast. Very special for us and everybody else. Happy January 12th. Happy Tuesday, everyone.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Can we take a minute, Shima? We are on our 50th.
Exactly. 50th
Man.
episode.
5-0.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yep. Hey, can y'all hear and see us out there?
Can't hear Steve trying to say.
There we go.
Can you hear us again?
Just let me know.
Testing.
Okay,
Let us
we
know.
got sound here. Can y'all
Okay.
hear us? All right.
All right.
They good?
So what we got today, man? What we got? What we talking about? The shenanigans.
Exactly. The shenanigans
Oh,
of
man.
last week still resonating today. We're going to talk about the episode at the state capitol.
The
Let's talk about
Capitol. All them
Yes.
people
So-
running wild.
Question.
Yeah. It's depressing. It was climbing
Are
walls.
they terrorists? Straight up. Let's just get into it.
Well,
Are they terrorists? I mean, because
I
they
think-
stormed into the Capitol building. That is illegal.
Yeah. They were allowed in there, man. Don't nobody just run up in the Capitol.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
That
I think some of what you have to do to get in there, I don't think that's regular. I don't think that's easy to do. That's not normal.
No. It was set up.
That's not normal at all.
Yeah,
Think about it. The last time something like that happened, they ended up coming up with all kind of evidence why it was fake. The conspiracy theorists jumped all on that when 9/11 happened. There were so many questions then, like where was aircraft control that day that's responsible for monitoring the airplanes? You know what I'm saying? There's no way you cannot know of an airplane getting that close within that vicinity. So that type of security existed in September in 2011. So
Wait a
and
minute.
because of that, we were supposed to, you know what I'm saying, up the security. So what's going
Right.
on?
Well, a lot of people are saying a lot of things. First of all, as everybody probably close to, a lot of circles talks about all the time, but we do talk about the indifference and treatment of different groups in America. So I think this is a big example of how other groups are treated as opposed to a lot of other groups. You know what I mean? If you say like Black Lives Matter, if you say even for some religious enthusiasts or whatever, and how they, kind of connected the 9/11 thing.
Right.
They were terrorists immediately. I haven't heard anybody call these people domestic terrorists. I haven't heard a lot of the names, even from thugs and looters or whatever. It wasn't until the 9th hour that you even heard people speaking ill or the media even representing this in a different way. So I think that's the most important factor of how people are kind of like thinking right now.
My question is, why can't we label these people?
just kind of breaking up a little bit. But you saying why can't we label them terrorists?
You said what?
You kind of went
Why
out.
can't we label them domestic terrorists?
Oh, you can.
Oh, so is the media still calling them protesters?
They're calling them rioters right now. I've heard
Rioters.
Right.
some people
At
say
least we're getting that.
At least we have the label now. Exactly, we have the label now saying that they are, in fact, like insurrectionists. But at the same time, a lot of people still believe that this was a patriotic act.
I think the word-
they think that
This
they're
is patriotic
you know.
bull jive.
No, I think the word for them is animals. That was real animalistic because they think we domestic animals.
Well,
you
we
know.
did have
Do you remember
looting,
the-
we had threats, we had theft, and we had death. So at the end of the day,
Yeah, that
You
was
know,
real
like I always
animalistic.
So
That-
I look at it like, man, it's several layers to this. Number one, like Shonda brought up, they tried to overthrow the government.
that's what they
Right.
say.
Like-
Right.
They tried to take
Like-
it over.
That's serious. Like, come on now. It was like a movie, and everybody couldn't even believe what was going on. So we do have the aspect of
Facts.
like, I'm not rolling with. You can just go up to the Capitol and walk up in there and get to the floor and
Right.
go up and take
I
people's
just-
devices.
Now, wait a minute. Let me interject with that, G.
Go ahead.
Now, 2013, there was a black woman, like a U-Haul truck or something, and she just did a U-turn by the Capitol, and they killed her.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys remember that.
I do.
I remember that.
She just did a U-turn.
Right. Right.
They
Hey,
said
that's-
Farrakhan was there.
Yeah.
And you know
They
what's
said
funny?
back in the day, Farrakhan was there with 5 people, and they had so many people ready.
It's the difference.
Armed
in treatment.
guards.
Are they that
ready.
scared? Are they that scared of us?
See, it's not. I think yes. To answer your question, I think it's fear, but it's also everything. You got to think about this. Almost all of these institutions were set up in a time of systemic racism. So everything that comes out of it, it's going to take a while to get rid of all of this. Like, even you don't realize how much of our subliminal thoughts are trained in stereotypes and
Right.
racism. So when you see certain people even approach a building like that, you're going to feel a little differently. On top of that, we got to talk about what these people believed in, because I also think when you believe in something, right or wrong, you believe in it, right?
Right.
I believe it's right.
Yeah. So what they were trying to do, like Shonda said, overthrow the government
Right.
because they believed that was the right thing to do. And in all honesty, their leader, because it takes a leader to embolden a group like that,
Right.
to do something like that. If the president is telling you, hey, stand by.
So those were Trump supporters, right?
Oh, yeah.
So if they're
Man,
Trump
word
supporters, aren't if I'm not mistaken, and I'm very neutral when it comes to politics, but aren't the Trump supporters and Trump like the main ones that were getting mad at Kaepernick and people that were kneeling and protesting
That's
in
a
a
great point.
peaceful manner?
Exactly.
That is a great point, because yes, they were. And I would hope.
So we can't take a knee. Oh man,
You all right?
Okay.
my bad. So we can't take a knee, peacefully about legitimate things that's going on to our people in our community, but they can go overthrow the government. I just wonder how many more of these like type of things we're going to keep. Like, look how we're like becoming desensitized to this. Like, we think about it. We witnessed some of the greatest, like, a lot of racism on a daily basis is just put in our face. That was like when it was the Black Lives Matter police and everybody was there. They called in the guards and stuff and all those crazy things, but nobody called for those people.
Well, they're saying that their voice, the Conservative Party voice, is actually getting silenced because they have been taken off of a lot of platforms. They also believe that it's the leftists are basically, like somebody said in the comments,
Right.
going wild and taking over this country. They believe that their freedoms are being
Do we have a body count on how many
infringed
people
upon.
was there? Do they have a count on that? On how many people
I
roughly
haven't
was
heard. I
at the
haven't
They
Capitol?
don't know.
But I do want
It was a lot.
to say
They
that
have
people
a
are
clicker
also
like
are
at the
questioning.
Costco door.
Right, people are also questioning the fact that they did not readily call the National Guard. That's like a lot of people are like, come
That's
on
'cause
now.
that was his
You know what I
people.
mean?
How many people
Right.
got killed in
I
that
think
whole fiasco?
Five
five.
people.
5 people.
Speaking of when people got killed, now a spade's a spade. I don't want anybody to die, and I don't want to talk bad about anybody, but the lady who was in the Air Force who spent 14 years,
Yeah.
she was not there to stop anything. She was in the mix. Well, they're trying to celebrate her. I mean, can we call her a terrorist too? I mean, rest in peace and all.
See, it's tough because I do believe that you got to be careful what you call people, because I feel like this is one of them times, man, you got to kind of lead by example. You know what I'm saying? Like, they always quick to call certain people terrorists on certain networks and certain groups, and they call people thugs and all that code talk, right? And I'm gonna say it was a terrorist act.
Absolutely.
But I don't think everybody there, like Brandon brought up in the comments, he said they didn't know what they were doing. Everybody there wasn't with. Some people were trying to climb the walls and slipping and falling, and then some people were actually coming in there with zip ties. No, I'm not saying it's an excuse. What I'm saying is everybody wasn't there for the same reason. Yeah,
Right.
That's all I'm saying. So what she was doing, climbing through the window and going into the building, that's wrong. I'm not saying what she did was right.
But can you? But
But
can you
All
really
right.
deem? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
But what I'm saying is I don't know what her intentions were. I think she probably believed what she was doing was right. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. It doesn't make it right or wrong is what I'm not saying that, but I'm saying everybody out there wasn't out there for the same reason.
So
Right.
so has it been proven yet that they were allowed in, or did they break in? Like,
Man,
where was security? Where's the?
you
Where's
can't break into the Capitol.
Okay, so I think so. Can you be considered a terrorist if you were let in?
I mean, all this stuff is allegedly. I mean,
Yes, it's
all
all-
we're hearing
it's
right
all
now is
alleged.
conspiracy.
But wait, why
How
are we?
are we gonna
but
know?
how is it like
You know?
day 8 or 9 now since it's happened or whatever the day is, and we don't know if they were let in
'cause
or not? Where was
see-
security?
Well, some people
That-
are on the no-fly list, and this
Did
is an
you-
ongoing investigation. You know what I mean?
A no-fly list?
You didn't see the
Yeah.
police?
It's complicated.
You didn't see
That's
the
what they're
police?
saying.
Yeah,
They was kicking back on the wall,
taking selfies.
letting these people in.
I've seen
Taking-
videos
yeah,
of
taking
barricades
selfies.
being opened up.
Yes.
It was some people that were
High
was let up in
fives,
there.
high fives,
drove up here.
selfies.
Man, look.
You know, you
So
name
let
it.
me ask you
Let's
this.
keep it a buck, man. You cannot bum rush the Capitol, man. That's not gonna go
So
down
if
like
they
that.
should if they can bum rush the Capitol and get away with that, we should be able to bum rush police officers when they killing people like George Floyd right in front of them.
I don't desire to do that.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
the only
wonder-
thing, I think this is a difference. I think
What's
the
more-
difference
Yeah, I
is
don't-
you have groups of people who are trying to stop hate, violence, and killing, and then you have other people who think that basically their freedoms are at stake and their own livelihood. And I think it's
And-
appropriate
and-
what Shonda said, because they're only, like she said, only their freedom matters, you know?
And I
So
feel,
when you see thousands and hundreds of thousands of people getting shot and abused by the police, and you don't say anything, you feel a certain way, but then you stand around and go and flood the Capitol,
Right.
You know, over politics or whatever. I think you
Right.
should have that same energy when it comes to people's lives. You know,
Thank you. That's what.
Yeah, keep that
thank
same
you. The
energy.
same energy, but
hey,
but
shout out
ooh,
to
about
to
get me worked
Brandon.
up.
Shout out to Brandon, man. He's like the Simon Cowell of
Wait, can-
government takeovers, man.
can
He
we
is not-
revisit-
He is not impressed with your takeover in the chat room. He is critiquing
Hey,
the takeover, man.
We gotta really focus on what Shima really just said, though, right there. The
Yeah.
energy, that same energy. You
Yeah.
bum rush the Capitol behind
Right.
your beliefs,
Right,
but you
right,
don't
right.
bum rush one police officer when he killing an
Right.
innocent man in front of you. Y'all record the shit.
right?
Yeah.
And then let's
Ah,
also talk
man.
about the fact that they were also carrying weapons.
Zip
Some
ties.
of them had zip
They were
ties.
carrying
They also
and zip ties? Come on, bro.
spread human feces throughout the Capitol.
See, I didn't hear
building.
That's just
I didn't hear that. That's disgusting.
that's like
and that's that other shit.
That's vandalism.
That's that shit.
Smoking marijuana inside the state Capitol walls.
See, that's that's that's
Hey,
that's very
kinda-
common.
That's
in
messed up, but that's kind of funny though.
spreading
Yeah.
niggas ain't spreading feces. Oh, that's just nasty.
See,
Yeah, that's nasty. Who does that?
It was some.
Also,
it was
some Molotov cocktails and 2 pop bombs, right?
yeah. So
I'm just saying.
definitely a lot of terrorist
What were
type
your
of stuff
intentions?
going
You
on.
know,
Definitely, definitely. Facts.
It's just, but then they wonder why we get so mad sometimes, or when our people. And I'm not condoning our behavior at times when we lash out because we be upset. But how can you get mad at us for lashing out sometimes when we try to be, dignified and handle things in the right way? Y'all still kill us and press us, but
Right.
then y'all go do that.
well, this is
And then
nothing
it's
new
like-
for minorities. You know, as far as even that's why people are. It's like a big issue with defunding the police and everything. But at the end of the day, I think that people are trying to basically find ways that will kind of balance the way that people have been treated for thousands of years in this country.
I think, what I also think is going on? I think on some levels too, some of this is being done purposely. So that way we start to resent law enforcement, and want to take matters in our own hands.
Some people are saying there's groups like Antifa and other.
Because I'm naturally
other
losing
groups.
a little bit of respect for law enforcement, just to keep it a buck. It almost will make you not want to listen to anything they say if they pull you over. It'll make you kind of defensive because now I don't know what to do.
because it's in our face. It's
It's
always
always in our face.
you know.
So now I'm on edge now every time.
Like, y'all done stopped
Like
them.
when they pull me over now, do you know when I get pulled over, I drive the last several feet with my kneecap and roll the window down. I'm like this out.
Extra out.
Nigga, you
And
don't
then-
see me park my car with my knee right now.
And then they want to come to the window like, calm down.
it's like
or
you
you being
being extra.
sarcastic. You being extra out. We're not going to shoot you. Like,
I heard. I don't know that.
Yeah. See, and
I really don't.
And that's why I said, I hope, even though I know this is not true, but I don't know for a fact. So I'm going to say I hope that these are not the same people that were saying, oh, don't take a knee. This is not the time to protest. That's not the appropriate way to speak up on your
I
grievances.
mean, I saw people on the scaffolding of the building. So, I mean,
I would be shocked if it's not them.
Come
I'm
on.
gonna just say that.
No, I just
be
don't have
shocked.
proof, but I'm gonna
I ain't
keep it
got
a
proof
buck.
either.
I think that's them. And like Brandon said, the dude with the horns and everything, and you know,
Yeah.
Come
These
on,
people
man.
need to
Hey,
be
so wait.
arrested.
Jason,
I just want to say in remembrance to Martin next week, you know,
right?
Martin Luther King and his
right.
quest for peace. I think that if this was a little bit more out of control, it would have been way worse.
Yeah, you know.
If they had any kind of order, like Brandon said, they didn't know what they were doing, but if they had any kind of order, if they had those kind of intentions to begin with, I'm happy that nothing more happened. You know,
Oh yeah, you know nothing.
I'm happy nothing more happened.
That was
you
their
know?
intentions for sure. You don't get there and just decide to do that. You was riled up before you got there. Everybody riled up before they go put work in, no matter what type of work you're doing. You know, they had their music playing. They probably had, you know, they turned up. We're gonna go burn this motherfucker down. We're gonna, you know, shit all over it, climb the walls.
Bum, bum, bum.
Hey, hold on.
We're gonna tear this shit down.
Oh man, I couldn't get to.
Demonetized.
Oh, they ain't gonna pay us for
button.
this for no way, Jay.
Look,
You know
look,
that.
Jay, I'm over here struggling, bro.
We miss you, bro.
Hey man, I will.
There you go.
I will be back.
I'm late
soon.
with the buttons.
Man. So this is my thing. Oh, real quick. The Simpsons.
Right.
Not to get too off topic, but have y'all
man.
seen
Here we go
the memes and the pictures that predicted this?
Yes.
Is that factual? Can anyone prove that?
No, I can't prove it, but I don't think that one's real. But I will say this: we covered this in an earlier episode, and I'll post the link in the description. But the Simpsons have been dead on so much stuff. I'm starting to think, oh boy, it's a time traveler. So
Jay, have you got any information for us out there, man? Is that Simpsons episode? Is that real?
I honestly haven't seen it. I got to check it out.
Oh man, it's dead on. They got the guy, you know, the one man that was walking around, the main guy everybody's seeing with the horns on his head.
Oh yeah, And I want to also say that they will be voting on the 25th, the enactment of the 25th Amendment. So that's big. But President Trump still has like a lot of political alliance. So we'll see.
yeah, Too Much
What
Crutch.
happens?
Shout out to Too Much Crutch. He brought up a good point about how Trump was the leader of this whole ordeal, and actually Giuliani, his lawyer, actually told everybody, man, we're gonna win through combat. So that's a signal, like, hey man, we about to go up in here. And this is the same man. Didn't he
Hey, did you say he
fire?
tried to redeem himself?
Didn't he say fire everybody for taking a knee if you don't stand for the national anthem?
Right.
And somebody brought up all the beautiful memes we got from this, and one of them said, like, if you have a problem with this, and it showed a picture of a whole NFL team taking a knee, joining hands, but and you think this is disrespectful, but not this, and it showed old boy laying back on Nancy Pelosi's desk, and we got a problem.
Right.
You know, you might need want to check yourself.
They were stealing furniture.
But let me ask you
They
this: Do you
killed people.
Exactly.
Come on, bro.
now, Jason? I know you're gonna give me an answer. Do you think that it's his rhetoric alone, that one single thing that really incited that riot, or do you think it's other issues? Like, what are your thoughts on
Of
that?
course, I think it's other issues, but I do feel like President Trump could tame a lot of this mess, man. He can really tame and tell people to calm down. But when you look at the footage when everything was going down, he was encouraging it.
Right, right.
I feel like it's the perfect storm because we also have to think about social media and where everybody was getting this information from.
Right.
Like if
Yeah, you see how all the platforms is knocking them off.
yeah, if you were to try this same thing without social media, you'd have a difficult time because everybody is reading information that is not true. You know, like you could put anything on social media, anything at all. And then when it's backed up by a figurehead saying, hey, we was robbed, y'all. We're not going out like that. You know, what do you say? Stand back and stand by. And then, all right, they stood back, they stood by, and now it's time to go. It's go time. Like you said, it's go time. And they ran up in there.
I'll be the one to say this though. I mean, I know that some words were said, but I'm also very cautious when it comes to that because I don't know what taking people off of different platforms actually will do in the long run. And when you talk about like your voice and basically like a freedom of speech and liberties and something that's always, you know, up to somebody else and other groups of people, I don't know if platforms should really be doing that. Like I'm kind of conflicted when it comes to that. Like I don't truly believe that you should be taking anybody off. And I know that, but I mean, it's like saying to a kid, don't believe everything you hear and don't believe it and don't do what you see people doing, you know, like that's kind of touchy to me.
No, it is. It's freedom of speech, basically.
Right.
So
right.
as much as you might disagree with something, do they have the right to say it? Absolutely. Do you want the right to say whatever you want to say? Absolutely.
So whose freedom of speech is being robbed?
Well, it's not that one particular person's freedom of speech is being robbed, but it is like Shonda said, it is a privately owned company. But that's going to be. I can guarantee you. I'm making a prediction.
Here you go.
I'm making a prediction. In the very near future, you're going to see social media companies like Facebook, Instagram. They're going to be looked at differently as just a private company. It's going to start to be looked at as something that this is so big, so many people use it. We're going to have to make special rules.
Right.
You can't just curate because the danger is, like you brought up, what if I own Facebook and I don't want you talking about my friend? Now I'm gonna say, oh, that's against our guidelines.
Right.
What if I cater to one political party and not the other? That's against our guidelines.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So that's the slippery slope.
You got to create your own social media.
Right.
And I think that's what he's gonna do. I think that's what he's going to do.
Yeah, you mentioned that earlier. The Trump.
Yeah, imagine if it's he got
Trump.
his own.
Wow, what?
I could see that
Trump
because
Twitter?
Trump book.
Trump brand?
It might be Trump book. Hey, you better copyright that. Look, no, I can see that, man, because they kicked this man off of almost all all social media,
Yeah,
like all
and
major platforms. He's not going to take that. He
right.
got enough money to.
All right. Well, that's how you know it's all controlled, you know, like you were saying. And yeah, that's not right. That isn't freedom of speech. Like I thought social media was supposed to be something we supposed to use, you know, at our leisure, entertainment purposes. Donald Trump may want to laugh. He may want to look at something and enjoy himself. He can't go on there because that's stupid.
Yeah. See, freedom of speech.
It's conditional.
I put it like this: if you got the freedom to believe in whatever you want to believe in and say whatever you want to say, and then you also have companies that are private, but then they got such a large following that they can influence elections, because that's what we're talking about. That's no different at this point than a TV channel or a cable network, because that's more influential. I mean, you think about where you get your news from.
Social media is way more influential than television.
That's what I'm saying. You're not, most people.
Across the board, all generations too.
Exactly.
And call it what you want to call it, but most people get like a large majority of their information from social media.
Man, I come in here every day asking y'all stuff about something I seen on social media.
And the fact is, anybody can make up something,
Right.
and put it on social media. So you're gonna have to look at that as, you can't just ban people that don't agree with what you have to say,
Right.
or information that you see,
Right.
you deem is inaccurate.
I think it's a gift and a curse, though, because on the flip side, a lot of murders have been solved because of social media. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things because of its exposure and things like that. And the freedom you do have with it on some levels have actually led to people solving all types of crimes and different things. I don't know.
See, that's okay. So look, people in the chat room, Too Much Crush brought up a good point. He said, he believes that the reason he was removed is because the rhetoric that he's promoting is hate speech, and that it is inciting violence.
Okay. So,
But I feel that shouldn't be up to a group of people to determine what they feel is hate speech. So even though you may feel that way, they still got the right to say it in this country. Because once we start, you see, that's a very slippery slope. Once we start defining what hate speech is to me
that's what I was
versus to
thinking about.
you,
That's what
well, see, that's how slick they are, because they tell us we got freedom of speech, but this whole time they've been conditioning our minds for the longest now on what speech is acceptable. You know what I'm saying? The barbershop, for example, there's tons of things we cannot say in here now that should be deemed as freedom of speech. But now, because you have to, you got to watch out for this group of people, that group of people.
but see that I would argue this.
And being politically correct. So
I would argue, right, you have political correctness, which is one thing, and we're in a service industry dealing with customers. So that's different.
Okay.
We can say whatever we want to say. We're not going to get our license revoked or removed. We just might offend some people and they may never come back. So it's
Okay.
not good for business.
Okay.
This is different.
Okay.
This is somebody saying that post you made
Yeah.
is inaccurate and is hateful, and we're going to take it off our platform.
Yeah. Like, who's determining that?
Exactly. That's the danger. So that's what I'm predicting in the future. That's going to be looked
You
at
got a point
I thought this
there.
was the land of the free.
very, very, very closely.
Yeah.
That's just my prediction. Just because it's influencing elections now. It's influencing, like we did the episode on Social Dilemma, that documentary. And we saw, I forget what country it was.
Yeah.
But you remember that one country, they said within 6 months of them getting Facebook, they had a civil war, just from information being shared.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So information is powerful. And I don't think on a global scale, I think Facebook is everywhere, Instagram is everywhere. And if I'm not mistaken, isn't that the same company?
Yeah. I think they together now, aren't they?
Instagram and Facebook. I just want to turn the tides real quick. I want to say RIP to Eric Jerome Dickey. Was only 59 years old, died this week. Many books I read of his.
Hey, he did have some bomb.
Wait, Eric Jerome Dick, the author of the.
Yeah, Eric Jerome Dickey
Wow,
died,
yeah,
yes. And
okay.
also,
He was 59.
Hey,
yes, Tommy
Okay.
Lasorda.
Tommy
LA
Lasorda.
Dodgers, LA, the breath and heart of the Dodgers, Hall of Famer. Yeah,
Bree
RIP.
Renee. Oh.
Wow.
yeah, time was sort of.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah, in the chat room, Bree said that they already have some type of law where anyone can report you and have your post removed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. The same as on Yelp and Google and all
Not
that
law,
stuff.
said
Somebody
low
can-
key.
Oh, low key. My
Yeah.
bad. I thought
Oh,
that said
yeah.
law.
You know what,
Yeah.
Bree? What about that shadow banning? Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
You know
I
what
heard
I mean?
about that.
People get shadow banned and you can't even.
See,
You
yeah.
What's that, Shima?
You don't shadow,
Shadow
banning.
banning. Shadow banning is where they will. So on social media, they will limit who sees your post on the low.
Right,
And
exactly.
it'll never become apparent to you. You'll just
Yeah, you
start
can't
getting.
find their name or anything.
You'll just start getting a lot less engagement. And
Oh,
yeah,
wow. That's crazy.
that's crazy because now we're talking about what's that about? You know what I
Right.
mean?
And
That's
who's over that?
Well, because that's them saying, you either you're too influential with the things you say, so we're gonna ban you.
or it might just be
You may be too
Come on, man.
influential, who knows? But there's no, how will you ever find out? You
Well,
know,
the whole point, yeah, exactly.
and who's doing it? Is it the company? Is it who's doing it?
wow, yeah, it is on. That's right. It's
China
on.
said they do it to Lil Duval a lot.
Exactly.
It is, and Too Much Crush said it's on a lot of gaming systems. So PlayStation can be. That's true because you can get banned from PlayStation if you say something that's crazy. But you can get called the N-word all day.
Right.
It happens all the time on PlayStation.
The
so
irony.
so
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Man.
the time, y'all. It's 9:01.
yeah, that's the time, man. Thank you for all your comments. That was a good
Yes, we appreciate
good episode,
y'all.
good conversation, man.
Love y'all. Thanks for tuning
Yeah.
in.
Wishing everyone safety and peace.
Yep.
Yes.
Have a good one. We'll see y'all next week.
We can turn the ground. Kick it up. Kick it up.
demonetized.